Hey guys, moving into session 5. This week's title is Diversity Consciousness, which inadvertently is the title of our textbook. So, taking a deep dive into diversity consciousness and what in the world is that? So, this week you are going to only have the last 4 pages of the chapter. So, we're finishing chapter 1 this week. Again, we've gone through chapter 1 really slowly, just so you can digest all of these new thoughts, ideas, and concepts. And the end of chapter 1 gives us some things to talk about or to think about in terms of myths, things that we believe about diversity, and helping us get a little more conscious of what is going on in the world as we develop more and more diverse and diversity skills. So you will read pages 24 through 28 and wrap up chapter 1. The first thing that you are going to do are those diversity consciousness reading notes. You should be a pretty good expert at that by now. You're going to make a copy of those notes. We're going to put a picture of ourselves in the upper left-hand corner, and we are going to put our notes on the right-hand side. Just as a reminder, do not write on the left-hand side. That is where I have put questions and main ideas. Your information goes over here on the right-hand side, where I have these loud red statements of where your notes and your reflections should go. So when you are writing and typing and inputting, you only input items under the notes column. All right, define for me, what is a diversity myth? And then go through those 5 myths that your book discusses. Define for me diversity consciousness. How does your book explain that to you? And then in this particular paragraph, or in this particular gray box, we should get some paragraphs here on these reflection questions. All right. They're there for you to ponder once you have read the 4 pages and really thought about diversity consciousness. Define for me ethics and some things that diversity is and is not. And once you get through all of those items, you are going to wrap it up with a paragraph response to each one of those sections with those reflection questions. Going back to see what would be next is our autobiographical story. So you're going to complete your autobiographical study as you discuss the 7 mentions of diversity that we addressed previously in an exercise. So let's pop here so you can see the directions. All right, your autobiographical story. All right, so we've talked about some of these items here before. All right, so the environment in which you live or in which you've grown up in affects who you are as a person. Okay, that adds to your diversity. Your social class background. All right, I've explained what each of these are, but for example, the social class that you're a member of or that you grew up in, the kinds of jobs held, and the level of education of the adults around you impact your social class. Was that the same as those neighbors that you lived beside? And did your family go through that upward or downward mobility? Were there periods of time in which you were doing well and things were what you would consider maybe middle class? And then were there times where things slid backwards and you would consider yourself in a lower social class? Or did things happen and you moved higher into a different social class? All right, your social heritage, those examples are there. Social and economic opportunities and cultural encapsulation, diversity consciousness, which we've already discussed. So all of these things, okay, you're going to read what I have listed here in this gray box, and you are going to focus in on this as it pertains to you. Okay, so I'm looking and I see the term environment, and I've seen that Miss Guy is asking me all of these aspects about the kinds of communities that I grew up in and the kinds of communities that I live in now. And I'm just going to bullet list all of those things about me. Same thing with each box we go through here. I'm just going to bullet list, and you can do more than 4. I just have 4 bullets in each box just to kind of show you how to get started. Bullet list all the things about your social class background as it pertains to you. And so you'll do the same thing with your social heritage, with the social and economic opportunities that you have or have not had, okay? As you go through, you're really just going to think about you. All of these things about you. Now, the box that says what people can see and what people cannot see is going to probably take you a little bit longer, and you absolutely need more than 4 bullet points. What can people see when they look at you? Think about that. When people look at you, what do they see? And then think about all of the things about you that people cannot see when they just simply look at you. So a lot of the items that you're going to be thinking about in the top part of this assignment will help you with this particular section of your assignment. What are things that are very easy to see when someone looks at you? And then all of those internal things that people can't see. Both of those items make up our diversity. All right, and then reflection. You already know this. Here are lots and lots of questions to think about. Answer in a paragraph form and be specific here. Think about some in-depth things that you have sort of uncovered in your feelings and in your thought processes as you have completed this autobiographical story. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Please make sure that you are putting forth a good amount of effort into these assignments. Even though they're reflection assignments or they're coming from the book pretty quickly and pretty easily, make sure that you're putting forth effort here. The whole purpose of this class is for you to take a really deep dive into you and for you to grow as you move through the course. As always, if you need anything, shoot me an email. I'm only an email away.